Hi, so I want to give you an update here of my Kiva account and the micro lending progress that I've made in the last 8 years basically. So I joined in April of 2010 and I've been doing this for 8 years, and you'll notice if you look at my statistics, I am almost at $25,000 lent, and that would mean I would have lent 1,000 loans here at $25, which would equal $25,000. I'm still quite a ways off, meaning I still need probably about 45 loans or 44 loans or so. And you'll notice here I have a balance of $520, meaning I have 20 loans or 21 loans I would be making this month. Now, I want to go through some of the sort of statistics here. You'll notice here that these are a history of all the people I've lent to. So normally I typically lend to groups, and I'll lend to women a lot because a lot of the entrepreneurs around the world are underrepresented as far as women's concerned. So you'll notice here when I scroll down the countries that I've actually lent to out of the $25,000, and they have statistics here, and you'll notice I lent to Peru 126 times, which is 13.1% of my loans, and here is a complete list. So my second country that I've lent to is Bolivia, and then the rankings are Philippines, Senegal, and so on and so forth. Usually it's in South America, but I do lend to mostly South America and actually Africa. Senegal's in Africa, and sometimes to Asia. Now, not all countries offer loans, and so you'll see, some of my other countries that I've lent to. Now, it does go by sector also, stuff such as food. Food meaning that usually it's agriculture, though it has here. So food is a mix of probably, they have retail here, they have agriculture, they have clothing. But lots of times it is all sort of like intertwined as far as what you're lending to. So you'll notice here is my historical stats, and they usually compare it to the average lender. So the average lender usually lends about $400. Now, I do want to say that obviously I don't put in a lump sum of $25,000. What I've done is over the years I would put in $25 a month. So after 12 months you're talking about $300 a year, and sometimes I would put more, sometimes I would put less. So over 8 years, with $300, I'll have $2,400. So if you go back into my current my current status here, you'll notice I have $1,500 outstanding, meaning currently I am lending $1,500 to people, but I do have a total deposit of $2,300, and you'll see here that I have $520 that I could actually lend right now to other people, and this is on a rotating basis. So what does that mean? Is that over time I'm lending on a rotating basis $2,300, meaning that every month I get money back that I could relend, and in this case, this month I get $520 I could relend. So it just keeps on rotating, and so you'll notice here. Next month I'll get $300 that I'll relend, and so on with this, the sort of projected repayments that I'll get. And of course the future months beyond 6 months is low, but keep in mind that I'm going to be lending this month, meaning that these bars here in 6 months later will rise to probably $200-300. So that's how I get to basically 25,000. I'm not putting in a lump sum of money here, and I like this micro lending methodology basically because you're not giving money away as charity. You're actually giving money to people such that they could go help themselves, and so there is a reoccurring money to it. It's not a handout, because they're going to pay you back. There are cases where, for example, if you look at my statistics here, I have lost, $200 something, $230 or so. and I do have $145 that is delinquent, meaning that it is late being paid back, which is a 10%. But overall, I am under, as far as my loss is concerned, than the average person. Of course, the average person only lends about $400, but keep in mind, if you're very diligent in sort of, contributing $25, $50 a month, it really does add up, and it really does, sort of help people out, around the world. So just keep that in mind. It is very little, compared to, what the Western world actually makes on salary wise or wage wise on a yearly basis. So I do want to show you, some of my losses here. So things that ended in default, which was, I had a loss of, $250, and in that way you could think of that as sort of the donation aspect of it. I lost money, money that I didn't get back in the loans. So that's not helping people out, but at the same time, when you donate one lump sum, you just sort of think of it as a donation there. Now here's a history of my defaults, and you'll notice with my defaults, a lot of it is really with Pakistan. So it's usually a lot of these are one-offs. I have Paraguay, Guatemala, there's Mexico, but my biggest loss has actually been in Pakistan, where more than half of my losses was in Pakistan. So you notice here I lost basically $100 right there in Pakistan. They simply never paid back any of these groups. Needless to say, I don't loan in Pakistan anymore, because this is actually $125 already, and down here is also Pakistan. In the second page, there's more Pakistan. So if you really look at my losses here, which is $230 something, I would say more than 70% is from one country, which is Pakistan. So just be aware. So when you're doing some lending, what often happens is they give you statistics. So for example, if I go to this Sierra Leone and I look at the lending, they'll give you statistics on some of the delinquency and also the. So let me show you here. So this loan, they want a loan for about 14 months, so they'll pay back throughout a 14-month period. So they tell you all of that, and they also tell you for this partner, meaning this is the partner that actually distributes the money. So they have a pool of people that they distribute the money to, and they have a track record. So the track record here is that they've been on Kiva for 140 months. They have, this many borrowers, and they've lent or loaned $14 million. And then here are their statistics, that, 1%, 1.6% of that amount that they've loaned is actually at risk. Their history of default is very low at 0.02, and and their delinquency rate, that means the rate at which people are late at paying back, is only 0.7. So this here is actually a good partner, and lots of times I'll look at those statistics and I'll choose who I want to lend to based on those. Basically low default rates, low delinquency rates. Don't just randomly lend to anybody. There are places that have really high delinquency rates. And so let me just compare. So this loan here is a loan where they're going to pay you back throughout an 8-month period. So you really do want to diversify. You don't want to put $25 or $100 all in one basket. You spread out the $25. Usually a lot of these loans are in $25 increments. So what you have here is this is very high. So they've been on Kiva for 100 months. They've loaned a little bit under $5 million, but their delinquency rate is super high, with the default rate also being 5%. So basically, if you loan to this group, you have a 5% chance of your money defaulting, and more than basically a little bit 50% they're going to be late with repaying you back with the loan. So keep that in mind. Just be aware of that. Now, a little bit more of these statistics, you'll notice they do compare you to other people on Kiva, which is basically, the average person here. So I am unusually high in this regard, that I do, I'm basically 100 times more than anybody else as far as, lending a certain amount. So my goal here is really to, just keep on over the years increasing the amount to the point where probably in a short period of time, my growth rate would be up to 50,000 over 3 years, because over the 8 years I've already made it to 25,000. So the because I've have so much money already invested in here, as far as on a per loan basis, on a monthly basis, that the rate at my growth would just keep getting higher and higher, and at a faster rate. So just keep that in mind. That's all I wanted to mention, is that I'm almost at my 25,000 goal mark, which is something I'm pretty proud and happy about. But that's really all I wanted to mention, and I hope this helped, and please subscribe, and thank you for watching.